Now, I got a couple of young bulls out there. I talked to Denzel Ward. I done talked to some people. He looked different. There's a difference when that young bull is out there spinning that ball. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Difference. I'm talking about football. I ain't talking about no media and all that hoopla and all them, on Twitter, they putting up the numbers. Some he with 10 for 12 for 2 touchdowns. I'm talking about when he's at the helm, he looks different. Whether he's going with the first team, second team, or third team.
What if I told you that while everyone's been debating whether a fifth-round rookie even deserves to make the team, Shedeur Sanders has been quietly running with the first-team offense when the cameras aren't rolling? What if the Browns have been playing a masterclass in misdirection, letting Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel take all the media attention while their real franchise quarterback has been tearing up the starting defense in secret? Because according to my sources inside that Cleveland facility, including conversations with all-pro cornerback Denzel Ward himself, there's something different happening when Shedeur steps behind center, something the organization doesn't want you to know about just yet. Look, I've been telling y'all from day one that this kid was special, but what's happening in Cleveland right now is about to blow your minds. The Browns are playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and Shedeur Sanders is the piece they've been hiding in plain sight. You see, while Mary Kay Cabot and all these so-called experts have been flip-flopping like fish out of water, going from he's developing slowly to his poise and arm talent are undeniable in less than a week, there's been something brewing behind the scenes that they don't want to talk about. And today, we're about to expose exactly what's been going on. The truth is, Shedeur hasn't just been impressing in practice. He's been getting first-team reps when the media isn't watching. And the reason I know this? Because my sources inside that building, including players who are actually on that field, are telling me something completely different than what you're hearing in the press conferences. Listen to what one of my sources told me straight up. He looks like the best quarterback here. He's young. You got to learn the experience part. Fifth rounder, so we got to make him earn it. But the truth is he's the best quarterback. And this isn't coming from some coach trying to pump up a draft pick. This is coming from key players, guys who are actually going to play this year and put up real production. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is where the Browns' strategy becomes crystal clear. They've been running a two-field system during practice, right? The receivers coach even admitted it. This is the most reps that I can remember getting in spring practice because we've organized practice to have two spots and just to really get a lot of reps. Now, on the surface, that sounds innocent enough. But think about it. If Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel are running together on one field, getting all those precious first-team reps that everyone's counting, where's Shedeur? He's on that other field, by himself, getting all the reps, not just 53 snaps like they're reporting. He's maximizing every single opportunity while the other two are splitting time.
I got a couple of young bulls out there. I talked to Denzel Ward. I done talked to some people. He looked different. There's a difference when that young bull is out there spinning that ball. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Difference. I'm talking about football. I ain't talking about no media and all that hoopla and all them, on Twitter, they putting up the numbers. Some he with 10 for 12 for 2 touchdowns. I'm talking about when he's at the helm, he looks different. Whether he's going with the first team, second team, or third team.
And here's the smoking gun that proves Shedeur's been getting first-team reps, Denzel Ward. Now, ask yourself this question: how would Denzel Ward, an all-pro cornerback who doesn't rotate with the 2s and 3s, know what Shedeur Sanders is doing if he's only going against scout team players? Think about it logically. Ward said, and I quote, "There's a difference when that young bull is out there spinning that ball. Difference. Whether he's going with the first team, second team, or third team, it don't matter. He looks different than the rest of the competition." But here's the key. Ward wouldn't know this unless he's been going against Shedeur in practice. And since we know Ward isn't dropping down to work with the second and third stringers, that means Shedeur has been getting reps with the first-team offense against the first-team defense. It's the only way this makes sense. The Browns are playing this perfectly. They're letting Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel get all the public attention, all the media hype, while Shedeur is quietly demolishing their starting defense when nobody's watching. And the players are starting to notice. Look, I've been in this game long enough to know when something's not adding up. The Browns drafted Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round, but they didn't draft him to be the starter. They only put him in this competition because they drafted Shedeur. It's all for show, and here's why I know this: they're giving Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett every chance to get it right before they let one of them go. Think about it. Why would they be running with the first team getting 83 reps if they already knew the plays? The answer is simple. They don't know the plays. They're trying to learn the system while Shedeur's already mastering it. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco's sitting there at 35 years old, and everyone knows he's not the long-term answer. So why is Shedeur getting fewer official reps? Because they don't want him to outshine Gabriel and Pickett publicly. Not yet, but the cat's out of the bag now, and the media is starting to panic. Mary Kay Cabot went from saying Shedeur was developing slowly at a different pace than Kenny and Gabriel to praising his excellent arm talent and poise that were undeniable in less than a week. Less than a week. You know what that tells me? Someone got to her, or she finally saw what everyone else inside that building has been seeing. That here's what really happened. Mary Kay was getting paid to pump up Kenny and Dylan because the Browns are trying to trade one of them. But when Shedeur started lighting up the first-team defense, she couldn't ignore it anymore. The performance was too obvious, too dominant to keep quiet. And let's talk about the timing of all this. The Browns organized their practice to maximize reps, creating two separate fields. But while everyone's watching Gabriel and Pickett split time on one field, Shedeur's been getting individual attention on the other. He's been working with the first-team offensive line, throwing to the first-team receivers, and going against the first-team defense. The result? Players like Denzel Ward are coming away impressed, saying he looks different out there. That's not the kind of praise you give to a guy who's only throwing against practice squad players. That's the kind of respect you give to someone who's been making you work for every completion. Now, here's where this gets really interesting. The Browns know they've got something special, but they're trying to manage expectations. They don't want to create a quarterback controversy before the season even starts. So they're letting the media focus on the competition between the veteran and the third-rounder while their real franchise quarterback develops behind the scenes. But development takes time, right? Wrong. Shedeur's been around professional football his entire life. His dad's been coaching him since he could hold a football. He's played in multiple systems, adapted to different concepts, and he's got the work ethic of someone who's been preparing for this moment his whole life. The Browns receiver coach admitted they're getting more reps than ever before because of this two-field system. But what he didn't say is that Shedeur's maximizing those reps in a way that Gabriel and Pickett can't. While they're splitting time and trying to learn the system, he's getting full repetitions and showing why he was the most productive quarterback in college football. And let's be real about something. The talent gap between college and NFL isn't as big as these so-called experts want you to believe. Yes, the speed is different, the complexity is higher, but talent is talent. And Shedeur Sanders has been displaying NFL-level talent since he stepped on that field. The players are starting to take notice too. When key players, guys who are going to contribute this season, start saying a rookie quarterback looks different, that's when you know something special is happening. These aren't coaches trying to justify a draft pick. These are players who have to go against this guy every day in practice. But here's what's really going to make people mad. The Browns might actually have found their franchise quarterback in the 5th round while everyone else was overthinking it. Teams passed on him because of his father, because of the media attention, because they were worried about the circus that comes with the Sanders name. Meanwhile, Cleveland was sitting there in the 5th round, watching pure talent fall into their lap. And now they're developing him the right way, away from the spotlight, letting him prove himself to his teammates before they unleash him on the league. The preseason is going to be very interesting. If Shedeur steps into those games and plays the way he's been playing in practice, if he shows that Colorado magic with better players around him, the Browns are going to have a decision to make. And that decision might come a lot sooner than anyone expects. Think about it. It's been years since Cleveland has had a consistent, good quarterback. They've been searching for their franchise guy forever, and they might have just found him in the 5th round. The pressure on this organization is going to be immense if Shedeur shows out in the preseason. But here's the thing that's going to drive the haters crazy. Shedeur hasn't complained, hasn't demanded anything, hasn't caused any drama. He's just gone in there with the right mindset, worked hard, and let his play do the talking. By all accounts, he's handling this better than anyone expected. The kid's been impressing everyone, from the coaches to the players to the equipment staff. He's picking up the system faster than anticipated. His mechanics have improved dramatically from rookie minicamp to OTAs, and he's showing that trademark accuracy that made him special in college. That what's really happening here is that the Browns are protecting their investment. They know they've got something special, but they don't want to rush him or create unrealistic expectations. So they're letting him develop properly while managing the media narrative. But the truth has a way of coming out, and players don't lie. When Denzel Ward says there's a difference when Shedeur's out there, when key players are taking notice, when the performance is undeniable even to skeptical reporters, you know something real is happening. The Browns are playing this perfectly. They're giving their veteran options every chance to prove themselves while quietly developing their future. And if that future arrives sooner than expected, if Shedeur forces their hand with his performance, they'll be ready. So here's what I want you to watch for. Pay attention to the preseason games. Pay attention to who's getting the meaningful snaps, and pay attention to how this kid performs when the lights are brightest. Because something tells me the Browns' competition is about to become a lot less competitive. The haters can stay mad, the doubters can keep doubting, but the truth is becoming impossible to ignore. Shedeur Sanders is getting first-team reps. He's impressing everyone who matters, and he might just be the franchise quarterback Cleveland has been searching for. What do you think? Are the Browns hiding their real starter from the media? Is Shedeur Sanders about to shock the NFL world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe because we're going to be following this story all season long. This is just the beginning, and something tells me it's going to be one hell of a ride.